Okay, great. So we're going to have a 15-minute session on Emiratisation, which is so key. So I'm going to bring up to the stage Ahmed Ramdan, CEO of Ròya. Ahmed, if you can come and join me. We've got Haitham Mattar, CEO of RAC TDA, Haitham, and Olivier Harnisch, CEO of Emaar, wherever you'd like to sit. Olivier, where are you? Olivier? Great. Well done. Guys, thank you so much for joining us this morning. So I'd love to get a catch-up on where we are with Emiratisation, because it's a really big issue for the industry in terms of getting these kids into the industry, showing them what fun it is, and where they can go. They can go all the way from the start all the way through. So Olivier, if you want to just kick us off with that great video of yours, but where are we at the moment? Because we had a meeting about a year ago with the industry.
Yeah.
And so tell us where we are now.
Yeah, so Ròya kicked off an industry initiative some time ago, I think a few years ago, and we had a great meeting together with other industry leaders about a year ago. And Emiratisation for us at Emaar is not a business issue, it's a matter of the heart, right? We're an Emirati company based in Dubai, and one of the characteristics of the Dubai hotel industry, which also is one of the characteristics of the country, is that the percentage of national population is low compared to other countries. Yet, this should not prevent us from really making efforts to have as many Emiratis as possible in our hotels, because this is what our tourists, our visitors want to see, right? This is part of the authenticity. However, we're facing challenges. One of the challenges that we recognize is the perception of the hotel industry. Two things. And we're starting very early also. So we've decided to go into schools just to change the perception of the hotel business with youngsters. And two issues we're facing is that we're, first of all, trying to convince them that the hotel business is a serious business, right? Because some people think that the hotel business is, they associate with all kinds of things, but it's a very serious business and a very attractive business. The other thing is that a lot of people believe that the hotel industry is about two things: cooking and serving, right? And maybe working at the reception. Yet, an average hotel has something like 50 different jobs. Yeah. So we go into these schools, we present the hotel business, we present Emaar hospitality, and we really convince these youngsters to consider the hotel business as a possible career avenue for them.
Okay. So, Ahmed, you've taken a real leadership position in this, being an Emirati yourself, a bit of a hero to the industry. What do you see that's happening? Are we seeing more Emiratis coming into the industry?
Well, I guess Emirati will come, but thanks to these initiatives and we started 4 years ago, initiative of Emiratizations, and last 2 years really it taken off, and last year where we put all the industry together and we created with a few initiatives, and things moved much better, and it's really into the right directions.
Is the government, is there set requirements, or will there be set requirements in the number of Emiratis you're going to need to have in a working?
Not yet. Saudi Arabia and Oman started. I guess UAE is the country will. Depends how much, if we can employ people, so to avoid that, but government eventually will come to, for sure it's coming. It's a matter of time when they are coming.
So the industry needs to take a lead.
It needs to take a lead before we are imposed with them, with the numbers or with the code or with the positions. But I must admit, last 1 year been really good. Thanks to Emaar has a great initiative this year. They were really way ahead, and they managed to secure people. They took the initiative, like Olivier said, they gone to the colleges, the schools to create. Therefore, yesterday, Haitham, thanks for the organizing. Those nearly 100 young kids who are here. They were really engaged. They like to see, and that's a good sign. As younger generations coming, they have less fear about the hotel because perceptions are changing. Like Olivier says, all days perception of the hotel is bar, drinkings, and maybe checking in. So that as the new parents are coming or younger parents coming around, they realize that no, hotel is much more sophisticated, it's more serious business. And I think it's a role of also the industry expert is to go and promote our industry in a college, in university, and everywhere.
So is the attitude changing? Are the young kids, I mean, of those that graduate, are we now employing them in the industry?
It started, definitely started, but it's need a further push. We cannot leave it. We need to push it further.
Okay.
But you can see, like we say again, Emaar and a couple of other property, Tour, and now Khaimah, they are all started, and we have a positive response.
So, Haitham, from your point of view, in Khaimah, are you seeing more Emiratis coming into, I mean, because I know you employ a lot as well, but what are you doing to get
Well, obviously the authority is a government entity, so different than the private sector. 3 years ago, we had only 3% Emiratis, but we only had 19 employees. Now we have 80 employees, but we have 35% Emiratis employed at the authority. And I think some of the works that we've done initially to encourage Emiratis to join the authority is show the opportunities that they can explore in being themselves, in experiencing what they really have passion for, whether it's marketing or whether it's PR. And we've seen a great uptake for people who wanted to be in marketing, because marketing for a while was just a sexy word. Now a lot of people do understand digital marketing and its value, and it's not just social media. That's been very attractive, but I think we had to go beyond borders. We had to go to the schools as well. We had to educate the Emirati population about the value of tourism to the overall economy. And of course, the driving force now has become tourism to the economy, and its importance is not really highlighted enough. I mean, look how important this topic is, and unfortunately we only have 15 minutes to talk about it. I think we could not have enough time to talk about Emiratization. The hotels in Ras Al Khaimah have not necessarily yet embraced Emiratization as much as we'd like them to, and that is still, there needs to be a culture shift. We've hired Emirati young ladies where the father had to come and see the offices first, which is fine. We need to make sure we manage the expectations beyond. We're still dealing with some level of conservatives, and that's okay as long as we respect that culture and we make sure we demonstrate the value of that job to the person, whether it's a boy or a girl or a man or a lady who want to be employed in this sector. We just need to make sure that we keep encouraging them and we keep showing them the future of this country is theirs and it's in their hands.
Is the difficulty that other industries are employing the youth? Is it competitive, or what are the challenges for bringing them into the industry other than the perception at the moment?
Well, my humble experience is a lot of the Emiratis were, with all due respect, very much more enticed to get into the banking industry. Of course, the shorter working hours, and of course the government entities. If you look around in Ras Al Khaimah, for example, you'll probably see close to 100% Emiratization. The tourism is the only one that has only 35% and yet growing. For example, I'm the only non-Emirati in my role in the government. But we're trying to get that change. We're trying to have succession plans for the non-Emiratis to make sure that we have Emiratis who are being groomed to be the next in line to become the next leaders of the future. Again, the challenge here is, in some cases, it's the long working hours. Working in the hospitality industry or tourism, it requires long working hours. It requires passion. And in some cases, you may have to disconnect from your social life because your job becomes your social life. It becomes everything that revolves around you.
Olivier, when it comes to the operational side and bringing in Emiratis, do they have necessarily the experience and knowledge to be able to do some of these jobs, or how much time is involved from the operational side to work with the Emiratis?
Well, I would say we spend the same time training Emiratis as we do with other nationals. There's no real difference. What we're trying to do is also, besides increasing the number of Emiratis within Emaar Hospitality, and our target is to double the percentage of Emiratis by the end of the year, we also want to diversify, because if you look at where we have nationals within Emaar Hospitality, you will see that there is a focus on security, government relations, and human resources, right? The other departments are way underrepresented. So we're trying to develop them also into these departments. We have development plans for our Emirati colleagues, and we're really following up regularly to monitor our progress. There's also another aspect which I think is quite interesting, is Emaar Hospitality is just expanding internationally, and this is a business where people travel. So by having more Emiratis within Emaar Hospitality, and then at one point also transferring them to our international hotels, they will also be ambassadors of the UAE, right, which has another additional positive impact.
Well, that's where it makes it truly exciting for these kids, doesn't it? We support YCI in our African event and some of our other events as well, and Youth Career Initiative. And as soon as these kids get on the ladder in our industry and then have the opportunity to travel with one of the big brands, I mean, what a great career it is. But so what is it that the industry needs to do going forward? I mean, what is it that actually we can do more of? Because you're taking a lead at Emaar. Are the other big brands taking a lead as well in terms of Emiratization?
I think so, yes. Everybody does it a bit in their own way, but there's regular meetings taking place under the leadership of Ahmed's team, and we exchange ideas, we exchange initiatives, and there's definitely more momentum than in the past, I would say. Indeed. You can judge that better than me, having been here only for a year. But I see a real momentum, and it's great to see proactivity, because what happens very often is that when the private sector does not move, then usually government imposes also things, right? We've seen this in other countries, and we don't want to get there. I mean, this is a natural objective, I think, for us in the private sector, and so far it's going well. It can always be improved, obviously, but we can be quite happy.
No, that's great. And yesterday we organized with Ròya that seminar with the students. On Tuesday afternoon, and that went extremely well. We had how many students were there?
I think it was overall over 100 people. The good news was they were very engaging. They were not nervous or keeping away, and they were all curious, and they want to see how it's going, looking at the brochures, talking to people. We had a couple of international brands there also, trying to encourage them. So it was very positive.
Excellent.
Yeah, if we definitely, it was very good. Yeah.
Well, let's just roll the film. David, if you can roll the film from Tuesday when we had that session.
Yeah.
well done.
Well, listen, from our point of view, we're delighted to be part of this initiative, and anything that we can do going forward with AHIC, to continue this discussion, to encourage kids to come into our industry, we're all for it. So congratulations to what you guys are doing and representing the industry and getting the industry behind this initiative. So Olivier, Haitham, Ahmed, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You can please show your appreciation to our panel. Great, thanks.